Hi, welcome to Rivetea. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Longhair Linda, and today we are talking about Basketball Wives, Season 10, Episode 17. And this one is called Don't Let the Doorknob Hit You. So, let's go. All right, so Malaysia is no longer in the credits. That was quick. She only quit the show last episode, but okay. Now, British, Brooke, Brandy, and Jackie are walking in a park and feeding the ducks. And British says the ducks represent freedom and she's not going to be free in a few days. She's going to be fitted with her ankle monitor soon. Brooke is hosting a fitness event coming up and says the bread that they're feeding the ducks will be the last piece of bread that they see. Now, side note, please stop feeding ducks bread. Birds in general, but please stop feeding them bread. It's really bad for them, and I just want to draw your attention to this article by the Canal and River Trust. So in this article, they list 5 reasons why bread is bad. Ducks need a varied diet to be healthy. Bread doesn't have much nutritional value and fills the duck's stomach so that it doesn't forage for foods it would not naturally eat, which can lead to malnutrition. Uneaten soggy bread can cause a buildup of bad nutrients, which can lead to more algae growing around the water, more diseases, and more pests, such as rats. Throwing bread into a canal or river can create an unnatural overcrowding of bird populations, as the bird will flock to the same location in search of their starchy treat. Too many ducks or waterfowl in one place can stress the birds and lead to their habitat being damaged. This also creates excessive amounts of bird droppings, which, along with being smelly and slippery underfoot, can reduce water quality and clog waterways with harmful algae. Now, another article on the site offers up suggestions of what else you can feed them, like sweet corn, lettuce, frozen peas, oats, seeds, and rice, which can be cooked or uncooked. So please, if you're the type to feed ducks, please go for one of these options instead and not bread. Anyway, back to the show. So Brooke has been really into the gym with all that she's got going on with a divorce, and she thinks her fitness event would make a great stress reliever for the ladies, pointing to Brandy after her fallout with Duffey at the winery. Now, Jackie compares the ducks coming together as a family as to what she's trying to achieve with the group. She's so dramatic. Jackie brings up the Ponderosa and how it got ugly, then fills the ladies in on Malaysia's exit. Brandy says she talked to her, but she wasn't sure at the time, Malaysia wasn't sure at the time what she was going to do about the show. Now, Brooke breaks the fourth wall here, asking a producer if this is true, and the producer confirms Malaysia said she's quitting the show. Brooke says it's crazy after her 10 years on the show and wonders why she would quit her main source of income when she's allegedly struggling to get child support. This was a point that I made when Malaysia quit. So at the end of my recap last week, I did say that, look, I support her because mental health is important. And if she feels that her mental health is suffering because of the show, that it is the best decision for her to leave. But I was hopeful that she had other sources and other streams of income coming in. So I'm not alone in thinking quitting your main source of income is a hard decision. But I'm guessing that she thought about all these things, you know, and that it really was best for her to leave the show. So, you know, Jackie says she thinks a lot of things are coming to light and the stress of facing it was too much for her. Brooke says if you don't bring the things you're going through in your life and put them on the table, it will stress you out even more. Now, Brandy adds that it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that's what they're here for. Tell that to Robin over at Potomac. Because, anyway, back to this show. Brandy wishes her well in her confessional, but says she won't miss her, effectively. British says that she has shared everything that's going on in her life, and in her confessional adds that she feels bad that Malaysia felt like she couldn't rely on the other ladies for support with the issues in her life, like British has been able to. The ladies end by saying mental health does come first, and they basically wish her well. I think it was a very interesting scene. I think they absolutely did need to include a reaction by the ladies of Malaysia's exit. But at the same time, No, because a lot of these ladies have gone out of their way to exclude Malaysia during filming. At least that's what it looks like to me as a viewer. And so I'm like, why now are you interested in her streams of income? Do you know what I mean? Because you were almost punishing her by reducing the number of scenes she's going to be in if you're consistently having group scenes that you're not inviting her to. So how sorry for her do you really feel? Do you understand what I'm saying? But anyway, they wished her well, so we're going to take them on their word and move on. At Iman and Duffey's, Iman has just signed a deal and is all excited. Duffey is excited for communication therapy and asks if Iman can tell that she's been trying to do better on her communication. He says yes, and Duffey says that he still needs to work on his. Iman thinks that he's very clear and produces flashback to that appreciation dinner from hell. Duffey says that her and Brandy haven't been getting along lately and fills Iman in on the argument at the winery. Duffey loves Brandy, so she doesn't want to fight, but anybody else talking to her like that and it would have been a fight. Iman thinks that she should work on not getting so worked up, even if the other person mentions his name, like Brandy did. Duffey turns to Iman and asks how he would handle somebody mentioning her to him, and he says he would handle it in his own way. I think he's a calm dude, but like, calm dudes scare me when they say stuff like that a little bit. Just a little bit. When a calm guy is like, I would handle it my way, I'm just like, what are you gonna do? Like, what's about to happen? You know what I mean? It just makes me uneasy. It puts me on edge. But that's just me, and that's not about Iman personally. I don't know this man. Brooke is meeting with her lawyer about starting divorce proceedings. Now, it turns out that it's been a month since she left her husband, and he apparently still thinks that he can win her back. So she just wants to show him it's done. In California, the process takes 6 months and a day from the time that he's served. I'm guessing you don't have to be separated for like a year or 2 years like in some other states, and that's probably why it's like a 6 months and a day from serving. Someone please correct me because I'm not up to date with the different states' laws. So if you're from the States, feel free to comment, make us all wiser. Thank you so much. Brooke is sure that she wants to start the paperwork today and starts crying, saying that she thinks it will make her feel better. Now, she does love the idea of marriage and of love, but she feels too betrayed. Listen, I don't blame you. That is a betrayal. So early on in a new marriage. Yeah, I feel for her. We're taken to Angel's home, who gets on FaceTime with Jackie. Now, she had her baby 4 months ago at this point and is already snatched. Jackie asks about a party to celebrate the new baby, and Angel says she wants to hold off for a bit to keep germs away from the baby a little longer. Absolutely don't blame you. I will never understand how people have a brand new baby and just be inviting absolutely everyone to come and hold the baby and see the baby. Like, let me FaceTime you. You can see the baby. Because if a baby is fresh like that, I don't know. I'm no doctor, so maybe there is something behind exposing them to as much early on because maybe they'll build immunity to some stuff or however science works. But for me, nope. You will see this baby over the internet, and that is it. Until they're at least 6 months, maybe not even then. I gotta be all the way honest. Like, if it's not grandparents, go over there. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's crazy. Maybe I'm saying that now, and then when I have kids, it's a whole different story. I don't know. Angel tells us that recovering from the C-section has been a nightmare, and Jackie catches Angel up on what the other ladies have been up to. Angel says she missed the girls, but not the drama. Angel has always been more docile character, I think. I know that she kind of, in the first half of season 10, she was starting to get a little rah-rah, pregnant and all. But I think people kept coming for her. The two sisters talking crazy about her baby shower or whatever it was. Her, not baby shower, what was it called? Something. Someone remind me. I can't remember. But, a push party or something like that. Yeah. talking about, unwed mothers. I'm here to have some food at an unwed mother's baby shower or something along those lines. So I know she kind of had to check a few people a couple times in the last half of the season. But generally speaking, she's very docile. She's not really into the drama like that. I think she just wants to come on the show, look pretty, style some famous people, show that, her business is up and popping, get some more clientele, and then go home. And you know what? I do not blame her for that. Brandy and her husband Jason are together in LA, and Brandy is working overtime to talk about LA and how great it is, then tells Jason that she wants him and her son to move here to LA so that she can focus on her dream of writing a cookbook. Flying home every week has been hard, but Jason says they've got a foundation over in Dallas and he's, coaching there and doing all this stuff. Brandy says that he could coach in LA and reminds him of their deal of it being her turn to do what she wants to do when he's close to retiring. We know about them deals. Giselle and Tom Brady. Brandy says that she travelled across the world for him, moved 4 times a year for him, and she needs his full support. Jason says he'll follow her dreams on FaceTime from Dallas. My man thinks he has jokes. He thinks he's hilarious. I'm not going to lie to you. I've never really been a big fan of him. During the time that Brandy has been on the show, I've not been a big fan of her husband. I'm just going to keep it all the way real. I think he's way too smug and way too jokey for somebody who, I can't say allegedly because I think he owned up to it on the show to try and win Brandy back, but he cheated on Brandy, and I think this was shortly after she was going through chemo and trying to fight cancer, and it was just like, I don't know if she went through chemo, if it was just radiation therapy, but I know that she beat cancer. Amen. Let the devil lose another battle because cancer takes too many people. But yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like infidelity in general, as you have probably guessed if you have been watching my recaps. But I think when it takes a special amount of evil to step out on your spouse when or just after they have been very, very ill. But listen, I don't have to like it. I don't have to like him. He's not my husband, he's hers. And if you like it, no, I don't love it for you. But if you like it, that's on you. That's how I put that. Not my husband, not my problem. Jackie visits Brittish, who now has her ankle monitor fitted. Jackie begins to cry when Brittish shows her this ankle monitor, but then she switches up to saying that the ankle monitor fits her and is kind of cute. You know how Jackie is. Brittish feels like she could have had a warning, or she should have had a warning, but she believes in consequences, like she teaches her daughter, and this is just the consequence of going out of town without permission. Brittish says that though these things happened before her daughter was born, she feels bad about having to explain to her why she has to wear an ankle monitor. Jackie is proud that she isn't crying or breaking down, but Brittish says that she can't play with all of this gangster-ish and then cry. I need for British lawyers to just have a word with her about all these statements that she seems to be making on the show, if she's planning on entering a not guilty plea. Like she already has, I believe. She already has. But these things happened before my daughter got here. Can't get involved with gangster-ish and then cry. I just know that if I was her lawyer, I would not be happy about these statements on national television. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say one way or the other what she did, didn't do. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying words are important when they are recorded and aired on national television. Now, there is a real-time update on her case. The Jasmine brand is currently reporting that Brittish is facing additional charges in her insurance fraud criminal case. So the Jasmine brand is reporting that according to court documents obtained by Radar Online, the government has informed the court that it intends to present a superseding indictment to a grand jury before the trial date for additional charges. Now, I believe the trial date is coming up at some point in April. Some point in April, I believe. However, prosecutors are remaining quiet about the charges that they plan on bringing against Brittish. Her current case involves an indictment against her on 5 felony charges of misuse of a social security number, 4 charges of bank fraud, 3 charges of making false statements to the IRS, 3 charges of wire fraud, and 3 charges of aggravated identity theft. Prosecutors also alleged that Brittish claimed fake dependents with false names and social security numbers on her tax returns from 2017 to 2019. So this is giving serious case. And while I appreciate Brittish being very forthright about her circumstances and being very open with us as viewers about what she's going through, some of this wording. Anyway, Jackie toasts to Brittish handling it like a G, and Brittish says, "Thanks, OG." Jackie is visiting Brandy at her apartment. Jackie is a busy bee today. Also, are they all staying in the same apartment block? Are they all being like put up by producers or by the production company in apartments in the same block? Because the layouts look very similar. Very, very similar. Anyway, Brandy is having Jackie try out some drinks recipes that she has always thinking of putting in the drink section of her cookbook. Now, at the same time, at least editing wise, Brooke and Duffey are over at Jen's apartment. Again, very similar looking place. For drinks, and Brooke tells the ladies that she has filed for divorce and hasn't responded to her estranged husband's text about still loving her, etc. Duffey brings up her argument with Duffey, saying nobody argues like sisters, and Brandy tells Jackie that she hates when Duffey gets defensive when they're talking and not listening before responding. So that's over in Jackie's apartment. Back over in Brandy's apartment. Back over in Jen's, Duffey says it's hard to be vulnerable with Brandy when she's upset and they have a communication block. She'd be willing to apologize if Brandy is too. Brooke says she knows that they can come back from it, but she's just not sure of the steps that they'd have to take. And Duffey says she knows the step. When she sees Brandy, she's going to put her in a headlock and she will hear what she has to say. Jackie, the producer, asks if Brandy felt offended. This is over in Brandy's apartment again, don't get lost. Asks if Brandy felt offended by the comment Duffey made about whether that's how Brandy belittles Jason. And Brandy says that bothered her. She doesn't want to attack Duffey, but she doesn't play about her husband or her kid. Brandy, I would offer a suggestion. Maybe you shouldn't have mentioned anything about Iman and therapy, because then she wouldn't feel attacked. I know what she said wasn't attacking in terms of her husband, but if we are in the middle of a spat and you say my spouse's name, all bets are off, you know? So I think both comments were on a similar level, and they do cover this later on, so we'll talk about it then. But anyway, Jackie and Brandy bond over getting support from their husbands after, supporting them through their athletic careers. Brandy says that she feels like Jackie and Doug found a way to compromise so her and Jason can too. Iman and Duffey are starting therapy with Dr. Keisha Downey, come on, black woman therapist, and Iman mentions that therapy is not a thing in this culture and that Duffey can be short and just focusing on her own feelings. Duffey thinks that she could use some empathy when she's stressed instead of Iman poking the bear until she explodes. Duffey, girl, say that. I don't know Iman personally, this is just what Duffey is saying about him. But I just can relate to that, because what's really annoying is if you can see I am stressed, don't come over here and poke the bear. Don't do that. Because now when I explode, it's me that's the problem. You should have left me alone. Making this personal, this is about the show. Come on, Linda. Dr. Keisha notices that Duffey interrupts Iman, which Iman says upsets him. And Duffey says Iman is long-winded. So Dr. Keisha talks about, listening to understand versus listening to defend. Now, Duffey does acknowledge that she doesn't always listen to understand. And in her confessional is hopeful that the tools she gets from therapy will help her not only communicate better with Iman, but also Brandy. So we'll see where this goes. I'm proud of Duffey, at least for the self-awareness. She does seem to have a lot of that, which is the first step. Let's be honest. A lot of people are walking around here thinking that everybody else is the problem and not them, and they have nothing to fix and they're perfect and everything is good on their end. So we have to give props where we see them, right? Angel is home with her kids and tells her daughter that the baby is with Rockstar. Angel talks about going back to work and her daughter says that she will miss her. Angel feels guilty as a working mother, but she also doesn't want to see her clients, she names drops specifically Mary J. Blige and Lil' Kim, work, going somewhere else either. Aside from working with famous people, this in itself is a very common problem, I think, for working mothers. I know from working mother friends. I know from conversations with other people that are working mothers. It's a guilt, isn't it? Because you want to be home with your babies. You want to love them up. But if you are the type to go out and work, and let me just say, this is not a dig in any way, shape or form at anybody who chooses to be a housewife or a stay-at-home parent, gender non-exclusive, because that is work. You understand me? That is work. And we need to stop acting like that is not work. First of all, let me say that, okay? But people that actually need to work to feel fulfilled, I think, get a lot of guilt because they're like, why am I not just feeling fulfilled with being at home with the kids? Because the kids themselves are a joy, they're fulfilling, being a parent is fulfilling, but it's not enough if you have that thing in you where you want to work, where you want to maybe be an entrepreneur, or you have career goals or things that you want to achieve, or you just need to earn money for the household. You'd love to be home, but you need to earn money, right? Which is, I think, the case for most people. I think it's very, very common, and so it was really, really nice to see Angel bring this up on the show and to kind of show her guilt and for us to see that her daughter does miss her, but that also that she's going to prioritize, sorry, I can't get my words out today. She's going to prioritize spending time and making sure that her daughter feels her presence. It's tough. You got to do what you got to do, but it's really, really tough. And I love that Angel promised her daughter that they will still have time with each other at the end of the scene. It was just all round goodness and lovely, and just, we love to see it. Brandy and her husband Jason are at a cooking session with an Italian chef, and Brandy tells us in her confessional that she only has a few weeks in LA with him, so she doesn't want to spend her whole time arguing with her husband, right? Jason tells Brandy that he's proud of her, and Brandy says she just wanted him to see that cooking is a passion for her, not just a hobby. Brandy is willing to let her son finish 4th grade, but she needs Jason to make a decision on what he is going to do. Talking about moving from Dallas again. Jason plays around a little bit too much for my liking, but eventually says that he is willing to move out to LA once their son is finished with school. Thankfully, they have come to some agreement. Hopefully, it all works out. So, it's the day of Brooke's fitness event, and Jackie brought chips. Which Brooke, of course, promptly throws in the bin. I mean, not Jackie talking about her blood sugar gets low, so she brought chips to a workout event, but, it's Jackie. I don't know why it's Jackie. It's Jackie. Jackie MF and Christie. Brittish shows up with her ankle monitor. By the way, British shows, British says, British, like, that is hard for me, and I did not realize how hard it was for me to have them SHs in speech. I did not until I started doing this, okay? Bear with me. British shows up with her ankle monitor and tells the ladies that her lawyer told her that she shouldn't have it on for too long. She just has to show that she learned her lesson. In the middle of the workout, Jackie asks how they got their men, the men that they got, and someone yells, surgery. I think it was British. I'm going to say this is a very pro-surgery reality show. Like, this reality TV show is extremely pro-surgery, castmate wise. There is definitely a concerted effort among many of the castmates to have the trending look body wise. That's all I've got. I'm not trying to get cancelled before I've even started. That's all I've got. After the workout, Brooke and Jackie are trying to find out how Duffey is feeling with the whole beef with Brandy. And over on the other side of the building, Jen and Brittish talk to Brandy and explain that Duffey is looking for an apology for Brandy bringing up communication therapy during their spat. Brandy says Duffey told everyone about communication therapy and that she needs to listen. You also need to stop being so condescending, but that's just my opinion. All the ladies want the two of them to talk, so they all meet back up as Brandy is talking about how good she is at letting people go if they don't respect her boundaries. Now, Brandy clears up with Duffey that she wasn't taking a dig at Iman, she was just trying to talk about the therapy and how it would be good if it helped her learn how to communicate with others, not just Iman. Duffey wasn't listening, so there's only so much an MFer can take. Duffey comes back with, well, her comment wasn't a dig to Jason. It was a dig to Brandy because she kept belittling her in her conversation, saying her head was full of air and not to say Iman's name. Reasonable. Brandy is like, don't say Jason's name. And Duffey is like, you said it first. Don't play the victim and the villain. Now, while I agree that Duffey does need to do better communication-wise, she's even admitted herself that she needs to work on it, right? I 100% agree that Brandy was playing the victim and villain here. You can't do something to someone, and then when they do something similar back to you, cry victim. You can do it, but we can point out your hypocrisy and you can look silly. Right? Because you literally did it first. And I don't like the whole tit for tat. You did this first and you said this first, so I came back with this. I don't like that, generally speaking. But you shouldn't do something that you don't want done to you. Isn't that like the oldest biblical thing? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Not to get all Christian on everybody. Brandy yells she's not playing the victim, and that was the end of the episode. So, ratings. You guys are going to get sick of me. The 12 of you that will watch this eventually will get sick of me because this is going to be the fourth 10 out of 10 in a row. I debated on knocking off half a point. I guess because it would have been really nice to see the ladies like dress up and go to an event. But they did have a group event with Brooke's fitness event. So we still got that group element there. And I think the scenes were really good. We had a therapy scene. You know, it was good. Like, I enjoyed it. And so I'm happy. I am sufficed or satisfied with the group event that we did have. So even though they weren't all dressed up, I think it was fine. So as a recap, we started with the ladies finding out about Malaysia quitting the show. Brooke broke the fourth wall, and it was a nice discussion about bringing their lives to the forefront when on reality TV, but also respecting the importance of putting your mental health first. Angel is back. Brittish got her ankle monitor and seems to be taking accountability for her actions, maybe too much accountability to be on national television. Duffey and Iman went to therapy, and there was a black woman therapist. We love to see it. Brandy managed to convince Jason to move him and their son to LA from Dallas, and all the ladies intervened to try and get Brandy and Duffey on the same page, but there's still a lot of tension there after the winery argument. So I look forward to seeing where this is going to go. I gave this another 10 out of 10. I know you're mad. I want to know what you gave it out of 10. I want to know your ratings, your comments, your feedback, your thoughts, your musings, either down in the comments below or on social media at Rivetea TV, or both. Let me know. I'm curious. But for now, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.